Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review on the dollar eBay brushes, and I'm sure if you're on this video or if you've looked on eBay for brushes, you've came across these brushes plenty of times and you're like, okay, should I buy this brush? It's only $1. It's supposed to be a MAC dupe brush. So I'm here to tell you guys whether those brushes are worth your dollar or not. First things first, the only brush that I have a MAC brush of is the 217. I actually do have the MAC 239 brush, but I did not buy the supposed dupe for it, so I don't have that brush to show you guys because I have tons of brushes like that and I feel like those brushes are really easy brushes to find, so I didn't even bother buying that brush. So the brushes that I did buy were the blending brushes, and I bought the pencil brush. And I needed blending brushes really bad, and I was just like, I've seen a bunch of reviews on these because I did look up reviews to see like what people were saying, if these brushes were good or not, and a lot of people said they were really good brushes, and I know there was a bunch of reviews in Spanish and I can't understand Spanish, so I couldn't really tell if, you know, they like these brushes or not. So these are the brushes I got, and I actually got them from two different sellers. I got one from a seller from China and the other set from a seller from Hong Kong. A little disclaimer, and I don't know if these brushes are all made in the same place or anything like that, but the brushes that I got from Hong Kong are not as good a quality as the brushes I got from China. So the brushes I got from Hong Kong, they shed, and the brushes that I got from China do not shed. Now, the only brushes that I got from China were the 217, and I got this in a 2-pack. I got the 217 and the 217 for like $1.95, I think, or something like that. I'll just leave it linked below for you guys. So these three brushes I got from Hong Kong, and all three of these brushes shed on me. They shed really, really bad, and I didn't even wash those brushes as much as I washed the brush from China. I washed this brush from China probably about 28 times. I'm not even kidding. Maybe even 40 times. That might be a little exaggerating. It may not. I don't even know. I washed this brush a crap ton, and it did not shed at all. So to me, it's a little crazy that I washed this brush a bazillion times and it didn't shed, and these brushes right here, I washed them maybe about, I don't even know, I probably washed these brushes about 6 times. Between like 6 to 10 times I've washed these brushes. So you're probably wondering, why in the world did you wash those brushes that many times? So part of the reason why I washed the brushes that many times was because the white-haired brushes smell god-awful. Like, I'm not even kidding. They smell terrible. Like, I swear they took the fur off, the hairs or whatever you want to call it, off a dead animal. Like, I'm not kidding. They smelled that bad. If you buy these brushes, you're going to know what I'm talking about. Not unless you seriously can't smell. Because I'm not kidding. These brushes smelled awful. So the 217 brush, I washed like a million freaking times because it's the brush that I got first, and I was like, eventually the smell's gonna come out. It has to come out. It has to come out. It eventually came out, but after I washed it a million times and it still was in there. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna leave it sitting and maybe the smell will come out. And the smell came out, finally. I was so happy when it did. It literally took like 3 weeks for the smell to come out. And I, used the brush and everything like that. And then I got the other 3 brushes, these 3 brushes, in the mail. And, I was like, okay, I can already smell the white-haired brushes stink. The black-haired brush did not actually smell really, really bad at all. Like, I washed it one time and the smell was gone. So to me, that was really good. But the white-haired brushes, like, oh my god, they smelled so bad. Like, I'm not even exaggerating on how bad they smelled. They smelled just god-awful. So I'm just going to go ahead and get into this review. That way this video is not forever long, and just talk individually about each brush and kind of like the things that I noticed about the brush and the good things and the bad things. I'm going to start out with the 224, and this is just a fluffy blending brush. Now, when I washed this brush, there was black chunky stuff coming out of the brush. The bristles literally like fell out. Not all of them, but I mean, like, there was a ton of, you know, hairs just falling out everywhere. And I scrubbed this, you know, I scrubbed it really, really well too, because I didn't want, like, when I first started washing it, I was like, there's black chunky stuff coming out. I started like scrubbing this baby because I was like, I don't want that to be coming out on my face, on my eyes, anything like that. So I pretty much haven't had any more black chunky stuff coming out of this brush. And this brush did not really smell bad when I got it. It had a slight smell, but after I washed it, it literally was gone. This brush, it's not super dense, it's pretty fluffy, and it actually does a really good job at blending out your eyeshadow. It is a little rough, so I definitely recommend putting a little bit of argan oil on these brushes, on all of these brushes. Putting a little bit of argan oil or some baby oil or something, and just kind of putting it on the tips, or some coconut oil if you have that, or not lotion, but conditioner. If you guys, you know, have like a leave-in conditioner or just regular conditioner, put them in some conditioner and just let them set overnight and let that condition the brushes to soften them up. I actually like putting like argan oil or Moroccan oil or some type of like baby oil on the tips and just kind of like rubbing it in it, and then just letting it set and then washing it out really good the next day. And I've noticed that that really helped with the brushes and softening them up. But overall, I'm actually really happy with my purchase of the dupe for the 224. Like I said, I don't actually have the 224, so I can't really compare the two, but this brush actually works really well, and I'm really happy with my purchase of this. And I did buy 3 of this brush right here. So the next brush is the 217 dupe, and this brush is actually not a bad brush. It actually does what it needs to. The only complaint I have with this, and it could be because I actually have the actual MAC 217 brush, is, for one, the length of the bristles isn't really bad. It doesn't really bother me much, but the only problem with the fact that this brush's bristles are taller is because it separates. The bristles on this one separates really bad, like you can see there. And this one, it doesn't. And the cut, like if these bristles were just pushed in just a little bit more, I think this would be a really good quality brush. But I'm not like super complaining, because I mean, it is $1, but this brush, I just feel like if they made the hairs just a little bit shorter, this would be a better brush. And then too, it does separate. I've noticed that this definitely doesn't pick up the color as well as the MAC brush, but it does pick up the color. It's not a bad brush, and I actually like this brush. My only complaint with this brush is the fact that the bristles are really long, and the fact that when you actually use it on your eye, the bristles separate. Like they do separate. And if you condition the brushes, they are not going to be like super prickly or anything. I noticed before I conditioned, because I used this brush, it literally was like stabbing my eye. So you need to use a leave-in conditioner or something to condition these brush hairs, because if you're not, you know, it's gonna be really hard on your eyes, and you're not gonna like the way it feels. Unless you don't have sensitive eyes and it's not a big issue for you, then, you know, you don't have to, but I just really think you need to condition the brushes. The next brush that I got was the 222 dupe, and I honestly know, I can honestly say that this brush I don't like. I don't know if the MAC brush was better or not. They don't sell that brush anymore. MAC completely stopped selling that brush, so I don't know if this compares to that or not, in any way, shape, or form. But this brush I just don't like. I don't feel like it blends very well or applies color very well. Like if you put it on the area, like I don't know how to just say it, like it's not, to me it's just like a regular blending brush. It's not like a precision blending brush. Like the bristles just like literally like they separate, like I mean they don't stay where they need to. It's not densely packed enough to work for a precision blending brush. This is basically, to me, a smaller version of the 217 and not as good of quality. Like this brush needed to have more bristles and be packed a lot tighter for it to be a precision blending brush, in my opinion. Like if that's what you're looking for, you know, then this brush might be perfect for you. But to me, I don't feel like it was densely packed enough. Like in my honest opinion, I feel like this brush from Coastal Scents, which is like I think the classic blending brush, is better packed than this brush. And I just feel like maybe because of the tip on it, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but the tip just kind of like tapers to a little point there in the middle. I feel like this is a better precision blending brush than this. And I would much rather pay $1.95 versus $1 for a better quality and softer brush that I'm not going to have to wait a month to use, and that's going to shed like crazy on me when this one has never shed on me. So just in my opinion, I feel like the Coastal Scents is a better quality brush than this one. So in my opinion, I definitely would have passed on this dollar brush. The next brush is the 219 brush, and as you can see with it being dirty, I mean, I've used it and I can say this brush also I do not like. To me, this is way too big to be a pencil brush. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, to me, it looks, maybe I'm just exaggerating, but the tip looks just a little bit smaller than that. A little bit smaller than that one, and to me, this is just way too big to be a pencil brush. Like, look at it compared to my eye. Like, that's freaking huge. And that's just, it doesn't work for me. Like, to me, honestly, I think this brush would more be like a crease, like an outer crease brush, because it's pretty big. Like, this to me is more of a, I guess, precision type blending brush than the other one. So maybe I'll actually try it for that and see if I like it that way. But as a pencil brush, this is way too big. I feel like it needs to be more tapered in and more at a point. This is just way too big, and that just, no, this is not a pencil brush in my opinion. So my overall opinion of these brushes are, they're not bad brushes, but I definitely would not have bought them knowing the quality of them. I mean, they are dollar brushes, but there are a lot of companies out there that make good brushes that are only like $2 and things like that. Compared to the dollar elf brush, I can honestly say that I wouldn't buy either. I mean, if you like the dollar elf brushes, you probably would like these, but to me, these dollar elf brushes are really hard and I just don't really care for them. So I mean, if you're somebody that likes the dollar elf brushes, you probably would like these. But I just don't like them. I prefer the studio line of brushes because I just feel like they're better quality and they're a little softer. So like I said, if you like the dollar line, you probably would like these. I just feel like they're a little bit rough, and even with the leave-in conditioner, that they're still a bit hard. They're not bad, but they're not great. I would rather pay $1 more and get a Coastal Scents brush that I know that I'm really gonna love, be able to wash one time and be able to instantly use, and know that the quality of the brush is there. And two, I mean, I'm not trying to say anything bad, but I mean, I don't even know what these are made of. They say they're made of goat hair and pony hair and things like that, but I mean, the way they smelled, like, it seriously smelled so bad. Like, I just don't even know. So I can honestly say that if I could go back in time, I would not have purchased these brushes. I would have just told myself, you know, hey, wait, save a couple dollars up and buy yourself, you know, some Coastal Scents brushes, even though you're gonna have to pay like $25, you know, so you can get free shipping. I mean, that was a good thing with these. They were free shipping, but I would have rather paid more than to buy these brushes. I'm still going to use these brushes because I bought them, but I mean, I'm not really going to enjoy using them really. So yeah, that is my review for the eBay dollar brushes. So I hope you guys really liked this, and I hope that I gave you guys some helpful information to let you know whether these brushes were for you or not for you. If you have any questions about these brushes, you know, or if my opinion ever even changes on one of these brushes, I will let you guys know. I'll probably just post it in the comments or make an updated video of something, I don't know, maybe in like a monthly favorites and not so favorites kind of thing, I don't know. So until next time, bye guys.